right, everyone. Welcome to season 3, episode 3 of the Socialpreneur podcast. I'm super excited to be here after being away for a while. We have an amazing guest today. I'm excited about her. She's a really good friend of mine, and I'll introduce her in a minute. She's like the master stylist of all stylists. She knows her stuff. But thank you all for tuning in. You know, I like to bring you all guests that I feel like can help you in your business and help you in your brand or help you in social media. So that's why I pick some of the guests. But I'm always out there looking for new guests and new people that you all want to hear from. So you know how to reach me. I'll put all the information down in the box, so that if you know somebody that's amazing, which I know most people are, that should be on this podcast, let me know. Or if that person is you, then let me know. So let's hop into this. So our guest today is Ashlea Spears. Like I said, she's a really, really good friend of mine. She comes from Illinois, but she lives in Kentucky now with me. She is a Louisvillian now. She married a Louisvillian. So hopefully she's here to stay. You know, there's been some talks about her going back to Illinois, but we don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Ashlea, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. We're just, 'tis life, a crazy morning juggling the things, but I'm really excited to be here. And I'm coming to you from my happy place, Belmonte Boutique today. So I'm sure we'll touch on that a little bit in this conversation.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
I've been there many times. I have not been there in a while, but the reason being is because I'm pregnant. So I don't really need to be buying clothes per se right now until after this baby drops. So I'll be back there. So Ashlea, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, hi.
Hi.
Really happy to be here. Like I said, I'm really good friends, Allison. Love you so much. Thanks for having me. I am a fashion stylist here to Louisville, most likely here to stay. Chicago I love, but probably here to stay. I have two beautiful children that I kind of juggled this morning, hence my crazy morning. But yes, I'm a fashion stylist here. I work at Belmonte Boutique part-time as well. I do their social media and in-house styling, which helped me jumpstart my styling business. So, Nikki and I really like to encourage and boost each other up in our businesses. So she's been a good little, mentor and help for me, and just building my confidence to really just take the plunge and start a business. So I'm about 3 years in, though I say I started long, long ago. Been essentially doing it my whole life. Oh no, I have an um so anyway, sorry about that.
No
And
worries.
I have had the honor and joy of styling for our local publication, the Voice Tribune, since July of last year. So that has really, gosh, just been a dream. Sometimes I just can't believe that this is what I'm able to do, and it brings me so much joy. And the biggest joy is just my passion, living it out and seeing it, whether it's on other people or in a magazine for others to see, and just the joy it brings to women and men for that matter. I've definitely been styling more men as of late too. So that's been a little different, but a little fun. So yeah.
Awesome. Ashlea, she mentioned a bunch of things, and we'll go through Belmonte and we'll go through the Voice a little bit and a little bit more about her. She mentioned Nikki. Nikki actually owns Belmonte Boutique. So if people are asking who that is,
Yeah.
Belmonte Boutique, Nikki owns, and it's been there for a while. And that's not how we met. Ashlea and I actually met because we were both bloggers, influencers, and we both kind of evolved our business into something else. I still do the blogging, influencing on the side, but I also do like the social media management and all that and the other things. But Ashley's always been into styling since before I knew her. I know she was into it in high school. She told me all the stories about it. But how did you what was that first spark of fashion and style? And I know your mom's kind of into it too, so you probably got a little bit from her, but when did that spark or start?
I would say, gosh, I mean, when I was a little girl, definitely my mom would take us to Chicago to the museums. She was always very creative and encouraged us to just dream, always dream, never feel like we had to do the norm, really just like always follow our hearts. And I think it started when I was little, and one of my favorite things to do as a little girl were those like Barbie tiles where you could change their outfits, and then you took the colored pencils and like created and always changing Barbie dolls. And then, like you said, you've heard the stories of high school where it's like, Ashley, pop your trunk, because I always had people borrowing things, bringing them back, style, coming to my closet in the morning, and gosh knows where probably half my closet in those years went and are. But it just made me so happy. And I just always had fun in the look for less. So, I think that's what I try to encourage clients. Like, just because I'm a stylist, people think like, oh, that, you must like charge so much. And I think it's pretty reasonable. And I really try to, have quality over quantity, but there's so many different things, styles you can find, which I feel like I'm tangenting, which I'm really good at. But I think it just proves that you just have to have a little bit of like creativity and confidence to really find your true style. And that's what I love doing in my styling business, is finding that magical mix of how you would like to dress. Like if you could just do whatever you wanted versus your everyday need. And so that's my biggest mission within my business. And even creating style shoots for The Voice is definitely like pushing the limits a little bit, not being so comfortable, but being like realistic in the dreaming part of style.
So I know you've had this passion since a young child. How did we'll talk a little bit about influencing and social media, because you kind of started there with the business wise. How
Yeah.
did that help you evolve into this business of styling for magazines, styling for yourself, styling for Belmonte Boutique and other boutiques around the area?
Yeah. So again, I just kind of go back to confidence in just playing, like as girls, especially. I mean, I feel like most of us play dress ups, whether we were, dressing in all the princess stuff or we were dressing up as knights. And so I think it's just still encouraging the play and having fun in your life. For me, it's showing that for my children. I think that's the biggest encouragement for me, is showing my kids that if you have a dream and you love something so much, there's a way to make it happen to where you can not only monetize it, but really make a career out of it, which, yeah, the money side's important, but I think my biggest thing is to show my kids that if you have a passion for something, you can achieve it, you can make a career out of it. And I think it's really helpful when you have a partner who's pushing you too. And, starting as a style, the blogging, our main point of it was fashion and style, which is, I think, what really brought us even closer together. And with Courtney, the three of us, and a lot of people associated like us three together there for a long time when we were first, still more on the blogging side of it. And again, you and I've kind of stepped back from that aspect of it a little bit, but still we've turned it into a business. And I think it's really interesting. There's so much even like science behind it, that look at what you loved as a kid and look at what you loved as a child when you're your most authentic self. And, can you apply that to your life? And I just look at that and I'm like, wow, like I always wanted to like go to fashion design school or design my own clothing line or something. But for me, I love being with people and I love creating. And so the stylist part made a lot more sense for me. And it really just built, I have a lot of faith,
I
and I
agree.
think I trust the Lord too. And so I've just really trusted my faith and the steps and the opportunities that have presented. And it's really just led me to where I am today over truly the last 5 years, I'd say.
Right. I agree with you that you always, even when you were doing the blogging influencing thing, it was more about styling people and doing that more than it was like the blogging influencing for you.
Yeah. It was
Tell
like,
us.
look at me and look at what I'm wearing. It's like,
Yes.
I love
Right.
that.
And you would do that with your friends. Look at what my friend's wearing. Look what I styled for her or something like that. That was
Yeah.
always like your main passion, even though if you didn't even think about it, but if you go back and look at that stuff from the past, it was. Walk us through like a day of the style of a stylist, whether that be in a boutique, whether that be a shoot for the magazine. Kind of what does that look like for you?
Oh gosh. They're
Or
so
both?
alike and so different all the same. So, well, like for example, like for Belmondi, you never know who's going to walk through the door. And likewise, we have people who are like, oh my gosh, I have an event tonight or I have an event coming up. I'm looking for this. So it's finding out, the obvious details of what, the event style is, where is it, what your size is what's your favorite color, what do you steer away from, and curating, a pull rack for that. And likewise for anyone for a style appointment, sometimes I will, pack for people has been a big one in the last year. A lot of my clients are traveling a lot more, making up for those vacations people missed a few years ago.
Yes.
Or just in that era of their life where they just are like, we're traveling like off and on this whole year. So then it's, where are you going? And it's really essentially just looking at the purpose, the climate. I will say the number one out of anyone, even if you're focusing on trends, is comfort. Comfort is such a number one of all
That
ages.
was
And
gonna
so
be
if
my
you
next
can
like
have
what's the trends. Yeah.
style and be comfortable, I will tell you that is the number one. And again, I think it's, our, pandemic a few years ago that really changed, really made athleisure a true
I love that people
style.
are taking something like a dressier dress, but then they're
Mhm.
pairing it with some tinnies
Like
and
high tops or,
yeah,
or
that's
Golden
my
Goose
favorite.
or Common Projects or whatever, those are. And even with like jeans, jeans have really changed. Everyone says skinny are out. I'm sorry, you all. Skinnies are here forever. I just think
They're
it
still my
depends on your
favorite
body type, and you really have to put the skinnies in the classic box. Think
kid.
Parisian style, Audrey Hepburn classic. The skinnies are not going anywhere ever. When everyone was abandoning them, I said, please keep your two favorite pairs, because I have people right now who know that they want them, it looks best on them, and they can't find them anywhere. So I'm like, you should have listened to me, but we'll find you a pair. Um,
I have
and
my favorite pair of skinnies and I can still wear them pregnant right now, so I've still
yeah,
been doing that.
you have to do the little rubber band trick too on your
I don't have to
jeans.
do it yet. I haven't had to do
Yeah,
it yet, but it's probably coming.
when you get, yeah, you have some time. But and so then with the voice, with the style shoot, gosh, we have our big huge derby shoot coming up a week from today. So
Ooh,
there's been a ton of planning into that one. That's definitely a little more excessive than the typical ones, but it's building relationships with the stores, earning their trust, knowing that you will take care of what you're doing. So that's part of the journey as a stylist. Not everyone is going to just, I'm a stylist, let you walk in and just take whatever you want. So I've
mhm.
really cultivated those relationships in the last couple of years with our local stores. And then they get excited, they know you take care of their things. They love what you put together. And so it's like, they're like, your new friends. And, so yeah, that is figuring out like what the style of the shoot, what the theme is, whether it's bridal, fall fashion, spring fashion. The current issue that's out on stands is probably one of my favorites thus far,
That's the
because
one Macy did.
yes, our friend Macy made that one, and my brother-in-law Rodney's in it, and a good friend I met through here, Brenna. She is a really sweet, cute, beautiful girl. And she was at the K-Mac fashion show too, which is coming up, which is super fun. But it's grabbing, that was probably my favorite because I was able to creatively control the entire thing. So it was, the cold and the darkness and the drama of winter busting, spring busting through. And we shot it at Mahonia, a local plant store, and just bright, fun makeup, crazy hair, and just, it was so playful, and I feel like really is the most like me. Like I feel like those who know me can be like, oh yeah, that's, without seeing my name there, you would probably be like, oh, that's probably Ashley.
Right.
And it just takes, going back to the dreaming part of it. Like how do I want to like shake things up a little bit? What do I want to encourage people to do? And what I consistently do within the style loop, which is another thing that has evolved through this business. You've heard me talk about that for a couple of years. And so that's been really fun to cultivate through the voice as well. It's about a monthly fashion article. So with that, it's encouraging people to push the limits and have a reason, create the occasion. Everyone says, I don't have anywhere to go. Create the occasion, buy the dress, buy the crazy shirt, buy we have Derby 150 coming out. Everyone is going to be bringing it. So I'm like, all right, if you're not haven't listened to me yet, you're up. Let's see what you're made of. And it just is having fun. So I mean, the day in the life, it's just waking up, feeling good, dreaming, and seeing. I really just trust, I trust that I'm going to find that magical outfit. I trust that it's going to all come together, and I trust my instincts more than anything. I'm a very instinctual creator. I get inspired by things, but when I'm in the moment and I'm pulling or creating a look or dressing a model or dressing a client, I go like off instinct. I don't sit there and I'm like, let me just sit on this for a minute. If that is your answer, move on. So.
What do you see as, or either what are your favorite trends that are coming up that are right now? I know we talked about the shoes and stuff like that, but being a stylist, I think people want to know either what's coming up, what's the trend, what should I be wearing? Not necessarily me, but them.
Yes. So metallics have definitely pushed through. Metallics are always something, but as far as like full on like metallic clothing and gold transitioning into more silver, I've always mixed both together. I just love doing that. And my favorite thing is jewelry. That's what I hoard. I don't have my ears pierced. So like vintage or clip-ons, like these right here. I found a box on Marketplace for $10 and there was like 80 earrings in there. And it's been my biggest joy as of late. $10, best money I ever spent. But skirts are having a huge moment. I have on my denim midi skirt today.
Ooh.
And fuller silhouettes. So, quiet luxury has taken over the last year. The started coastal grandmother, and that transitioned into quiet luxury, which is definitely a more neutral palette, but just keeping things more of quality and simple. And I have on my fun, vintage piece. I always have a piece of vintage with me. But I definitely have played into that as I'm turning 40 this year. So I'm just kind of creating a new era for myself. And skirts, I think I'm the most excited about because skirts can be hard, but I think with the midi dresses and the tennis shoes with dresses have really ballet flats and the little like flat Mary Janes have really, I think, enabled people to feel more confident in grabbing a midi skirt or something with more of a fuller silhouette. So I think you'll see that a lot more. The 60s and 70s are still very, very relevant with a modern twist. One of the most coveted shows that just happened was the Chloe show. So for reference, I would definitely go check that one out. And I would just say the dresses that are flying off the shelf right now here, and I think everywhere, are still, the drama sleeve, the tailored waist where it kind of is like an A line, but there's like volume to it. Think the Zimmerman dresses are still really big. I think we'll see a lot of stuff like that at Derby, but I think channeling the 20s and 30s, like you're going to see a little bit more of, the like mock necks with like the fuller sleeve, kind of think a little Victorian.
Okay.
And I think that's really, really exciting. And then as far as jeans, not everyone can pull off those the trendy jeans or even the super wide leg. I
Yeah.
was in it for a while. I think I'm kind of transitioning back out of it myself just because it's super fun, but it's not always the most flattering. So I think if you're looking for denim, stick with the skinnies and like just the traditional straight leg is probably your best bet. I think those are flattering on just about everybody.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lots of good tips.
Oh, and green.
Green.
Every shade of
We
green.
are shooting this
Color.
week of St. Patrick's Day, so that sounds really good. It won't be out then, but
Yeah.
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 You look good in
Green. So like I have on my little shades of green right now, but you see that in interiors too. So, watch if you need extra inspiration, look at what interior designers are doing too, because it's probably transitioning to fashion and vice versa.
Awesome. Lots of good tips, especially for women that are, I wouldn't say struggling on what to wear, but just kind of are up in the air of what to put in their closet, what to get rid of out of their closet, what's next. You don't always have to be a 9-to-5 businesswoman to have like this tailored wardrobe. You can have a tailored wardrobe for yourself if you're an entrepreneur. So I love that you're throwing in these different pieces and telling people how to do it. So where can we find you? So if people want to use you as a stylist or people just want to follow along with you, they don't live here, where can they find you?
I would say your best bet would be on Instagram, which Allison, as the social media queen, is going to kick me in the booty and put me to work this weekend.
We talked about this.
Get more relevant. I have so much to share, but on that note, Ashlea Spears stylist, and in the style loop, LOU for Louisville P. So in the style loop and Ashlea Spears stylist is where you can find me. I've been quiet and intentional, but I really just used last year when these really good opportunities to just really stay in that moment and just focus and say yes. So I definitely have a lot to share. I'm hitting Allison up for a reintroduction. So I think just a lot's changed, and there's new faces and old faces. So I think it's time for that reintroduction and sharing all this, this just
I've
great
been
life.
on her. She's been asking, what should I do? What should I do? And she hasn't done it yet, but I'm giving her some time. She's got a lot of content I know that she needs to share. I'll put all her information down below so you all can find her email, her social media and stuff like that. If you're local, definitely go visit Belmonte Boutique, and I'll put the address there. Ashley can be your stylist. She can help you. Nikki can be your stylist. Grab the Voice Tribune magazine if you're local. If not, it's online too. I'll put the link so people can see the online issues. I was in one of those issues.
Yes, September.
Yeah. I was like, what month? I was in one of those.
Fall fashion. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I love talking to Ashley because she's so fun and she's colorful. I'm into fashion, not like her. I want to be in fashion like her, but I feel like I have so much going on with other stuff. So then I live vicariously through her, through the fashion. And so and she might live vicariously through me for for other things.
I do. I think we inspire each other for the things that we're wanting to do, but sometimes just happen to fall a little lower on our personal totem poles. So I think you inspire me, and I'm honored if I inspire you. So
keep doing what you're doing. This was an awesome episode. I'm excited for obviously everyone to hear this, and people that haven't discovered you to discover you. So thank you for being on the Socialpreneur podcast. It's been a pleasure as always. And people like, subscribe, share. Like I said, if you have anybody else that you know that needs to be on here, let me know. And I'll keep bringing you people that are going to bring you tips about entrepreneurship, business, life, social media, fashion, or whatever it is. So thank you for joining us, and we will see you in the next episode.
All right. Bye, Al.
Bye.